It's time for the news. You know what Paul Harvey used to say? Oh, repeat violations found at Beef O'Brady's during a recent health inspection. Commissioners stop short of declaring Sumter County a gun rights sanctuary. Since when did all this sanctuary stuff pop up? What's that all about? Like we're trying to separate ourselves from the rest of America somehow? I don't get it. Man free on bond in theft of iPhone arrested on new theft charge in the Villages. Let me see what that's all about. Christian Miguel Vasquez, a man free on bond in the theft of an elderly woman's iPhone, has already been arrested on a new theft charge in the Villages. He's 20 years old. He had been free on a $500 bond following the arrest earlier this month, after allegedly stealing the iPhone of an 86-year-old woman at a Verizon store in Lady Lake. On Monday night, he entered the Walmart at Buffalo Ridge Plaza in the Villages and took a Casio watch out of its packaging. A Casio. Son, if you're going to steal something, good God, you couldn't find something worth stealing? What? A Casio. Oh, hell. I know, no use reading. Now, it's a good thing here. It's a good thing that most crooks are dumb. Hey, remember that guy we reported a couple of times that met some lady down at Wildwood, and he was probably been drinking, she'd probably been drinking. Anyway, she fell out of the golf cart. She got in the golf cart with him, and they were heading somewhere. She fell out, striking her head, knocking her out, and laying on the golf cart path or on the rotors. Anyway, he drug her over to the bushes, left her there to die. He got in his cart and took off. Remember that guy? And then through some kind of a court dealing, he got off with virtually nothing. Virtually nothing. And I think it was disgusting that the court allowed this guy to walk. I wasn't in court, I understand that, but you drag somebody's body to the bushes and then drive off and leave them. That person dies later, and that guy gets like 40 hours community service and a $2,000 fine. That's it. Anyway, after the court action, he filed bankruptcy. Don't know what the legal reason for that was. Probably maybe to get out from paying fines. I don't know. I don't think the court has anything to do with bankruptcies. I don't think you can file bankruptcy on your attorney. There's some things you can't file bankruptcy on. I don't know all the legal ins and outs, but anyway, he filed bankruptcy, and now he's delinquent in a fine ordered earlier this year in Sumter County in the death of a woman in 2017 after falling from a golf cart. So they'll have a warrant out for his arrest for a contempt of court charge for failing to follow a court order. Beer drinking villager jailed after attack on husband of 50 years. Good Lord, she don't look like she got enough strength to do anything. Law enforcement was called shortly before midnight Friday to a home in the 600 block of Tarson Boulevard in the village of Silver Lake. That's what they call the historical area up there, the other side of Spanish Springs. 76-year-old Laverne Marion Sarsnecki was taken into custody on a charge of domestic battery. Villager's daughter apprehended on multiple drug charges. The daughter of a village of Antrim Dales resident, Antrim Dales is down by Wildwood, was jailed on multiple drug charges after a canine alerted on a vehicle in which she had been a passenger. Rochelle Ann Craig, a 44, who lives at 3711 Fenster Lane, had been traveling in a white pickup truck at 6:34 p.m. Saturday at U.S. Highway 27 and 441. That'll be up by, basically it's that main highway that goes in front of Spanish Springs up there, but that road goes all the way over to Leesburg and then splits off. In County Road 109, when the driver who was not wearing a seatbelt failed to come to a complete stop, according to the arrest report, Sumter County. The dog hit on the car, they did a search, and then they found drugs. Let's see what they found. Methamphetamine and marijuana seems to be the two big drugs they find all the time down here. The canine alerted on the vehicle, and a search of Craig's purse turned up a glass pipe that had the residue of methamphetamine. During a pat-down, a hard eyeglasses case was found stuffed in Craig's pants. The case contained ketorolac trimethamine pills. I don't even know what that is. Marijuana and a syringe loaded with methamphetamine. She was arrested on multiple drug charges and booked without bond at the Sumter County Detention Center. You know, if she had a career, it'd probably keep her mind off a lot of things. 94-year-old villager thrilled to fly in B-17 for first time since World War II. Good for you. Florida Highway Patrol report IDs New York bicyclist run over by golf cart in the Villages. This is one of the problems that's going to get worse. I've never agreed with it. I'm not in charge here. I just give my opinion about things. I've never agreed using what once was called golf cart trails, and that's what they were, golf cart trails only. And then later on they added stuff. And then as the villages got bigger, they just changed the name of it. I don't know why that was. I don't know if it was a Sumter County thing that said you have to do this or we won't give you no more building permits. I don't know. But then they changed them to multi-mogul trails, which is what they're called now. And they allow virtually almost anything on a golf cart trail. Well, except, you know, stupid stuff. You can't run a go-kart on a golf cart trail, you know, but yeah, and so you got bicyclists on the golf cart trail, you got, I don't even know, you can probably roller skate on the golf cart trail. I'm just saying, when you've got so many people out there mixed in with golf carts, accidents are going to happen. And when you're 80 years old, when these accidents happen, there's a good probability you're going to have a lifelong injury, or you're going to suffer the rest of your life with that injury, or you're going to die because you just don't bounce back. Now, we'll say one thing about the Finney area. We talked about this a little bit during our first live stream, that they have specific walking trails down there that are designated walking trails only. No golf carts are allowed on them. It's over, I don't know, 16 miles of it down there, which is going to be a big draw down there for a lot of people. And well, we called, or I should say Sue called. I said, I wanted to call and check. I said, call down there and check and find out if anything else is allowed on that golf cart or at the walking trail. Just curious. She called. Come to find out. I told her specifically, I said, ask and see if an electric bike is allowed to be on that walking trail. And they told her yes. An electric bike is allowed to be on the walking trails down in the Finney area. So I'm saying if an electric bike can be on that trail, a regular bicycle can probably be on that trail also. Who knows what else they allow on that trail? I mean, and I don't even know who enforces the rule about the trail, or if it's all supposedly an honor system. I don't know. I just think it's asinine myself. I don't know. Who enforces the rules anyway? Police ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna enforce that golf cart trail down there, because if it's not on the road, they don't really have an authority. That's technically private property unless an accident happens. Employees report hours-long lockdown at the Villages Regional Hospital. Bomb threat was called in. They'll get on that. They'll find out who done that, and there'll be another arrest. That's happened before, and they've caught each and every one of them. Villager's son set free from jail and told to stay away from the town square. This kid has a psychological problem. I've never met this kid, don't know anything about this kid, but I've read a lot of stories about this kid. He's been arrested multiple times. Now they've turned him loose again. Their mom and dad has a restraining order. He can't go home. And every time he goes home anyway. And they call the police come arrest him all the time. So they found him this last time sleeping up at Spanish Springs in front of that chocolate place. I can't think of the name of it. Kilwicks or something like that. Chocolate place. He was sleeping there. And I guess they told him he couldn't be there. He had to go. And he refused to go. They called the police. Police said they gave him ample opportunity to go. Just go. He wouldn't go. They arrested him. So now they turned him loose again. I'm going to show you this guy. So you won't forget the face if you see it. Anyway, let's finish up the news here. This late at night. I had to take off on that last one. What was we talking about? The kid that was arrested in Spanish Springs, and he had a court order not to go back to Spanish Springs. That's what it was. But what the judge didn't tell him, not to go to Lake Sumter Landing or not go to Brownwood. So if he has no place to go and he's sleeping on the street, he can't go to Spanish Springs. I don't know where he's going to go, but anyway. And this will be the last story. Well, I think it's last here. Jeez. This gets old after a while. Villager's problematic son back home in village of Palo Alto. A villager's problematic son is back home in the village of Palo Alto. William J. Berticelli, 64, bonded out of Sumter County Detention Center on Halloween after being lodged there since his April 10 arrest. This is like an old report. He had been spotted again in his mother's home. Oh, apparently he has been trespassed from there, and they probably got a protection order and he's not supposed to be there. Berticelli had been arrested by the Sumter County Sheriff's Office Special Investigation Squad, which had been looking into suspicious activity at the home. The squad found methamphetamine, marijuana, and drug paraphernalia, along with a sawed-off shotgun barrel, Ithaca 37 Featherlight 12-gauge shotgun, and a Remington Model 1100 12-gauge shotgun, and numerous articles of ammunition. 2 more guns, another Ithaca 37 Featherlight 12-gauge shotgun, and a lever-action Sears and Roebuck 30-30 rifle were found in a safe, along with numerous rounds of ammunition. Berticelli has a lengthy criminal history, which includes an arrest last year after a canine alerted on his golf cart in which he had been traveling. He was found to be in possession of methamphetamine. In 2015, deputies were forced to taser Berticelli at a Palo Alto postal station. He was found to be in possession of methamphetamine. Oh gosh. And this will be our last one. And it's not good. Man who kicked cop and urinated at town square gets break in court. Oh, this guy. Look at that guy. Look at him. Just lovely. A village's resident who kicked a cop and urinated at a town square got a break last week in court. Stephen Earl Fish, 34, who lists an address at 709 Truman Avenue on the historic side of the villages, last week in Lake County Court agreed to enter into a pre-trial intervention contract. He has agreed to seek substance abuse counseling and psychological evaluation if directed by the pretrial intervention program officer. He has also agreed to pay $400 in court costs. Fish had been arrested July 12 on charges of battery on a law enforcement officer, trespassing, and disorderly intoxication. He will not face prosecution on those charges if he lives up to the terms of the pretrial intervention contract. Law enforcement had been called to Gators Dockside at Spanish Springs Town Square, where Fish was arguing with customers and causing a disturbance, according to an arrest report from the Lady Lake Police Department. He was also observed by several customers at the business urinating on a light pole in plain view of patrons. Whatever happened to the day that the guy that run a bar, if you didn't, this don't look like it's set right, let me raise this up a little bit. If you didn't behave yourself in a bar, he would tell you to leave. You argued with him, the bouncer in that bar is liable to just throw you through the plate glass window or throw you right out the front door on the street. Nowadays, we all have to sit around and listen to somebody cussing and carrying on and threatening people and wait for the police officer to show up. Anyway, that being said, hope you guys have a good week. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm working on our next live show, believe it or not. Trying to get things arranged, trying to get some things done. So, and I'm also trying to get camper packed, get a few things taken care of with that, because the end of this month we're taking off and heading to Texas. So, see you guys on the other side.